Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Leveling characters in 915 is pretty easy, but after you hit max level, now it's time to gear those alts. No one wants to waste time grinding content that's going to give you the least amount of gear, so in this video we'll talk about all the efficient ways that you can go about gearing out your alt characters, including some of the ways that 915 change alt gearing, some of the different ways that your mains can contribute towards your alt's success, as well as a re-review of some of the different gearing methods available in patch 915, whether you want to gear for raiding, dungeons, or PvP. Everything that I'm currently doing for a fresh new alt character that I got up and running, my very first character for Shadowlands on the Alliance. But first, most of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed, and the more I ask, the more of you do. So if you're watching these videos and are not subscribed, might as well hit subscribe as well as hit the bell, especially if you enjoy updates like these, guides going forward, as well as 9.1 future patch updates. In patch 915, your main character can significantly affect and contribute towards gearing of your fresh level 60 alt characters. It's a good idea to get acquainted with the vendor next to the flight master on the second story of Ouroboros, who sells a lot of the alt character catch-ups as well as some of the boxes that your characters will use to gear. The very basic ways to gear your alts can be done through a Korthia vendor as well, using some of the Korthian armaments that we talked about for patch 9.1. They added a way for you to buy specific Korthian armament pieces, so if your fresh new alt character has a couple of pieces that, bracers are pretty good, the boots are fine, but they could use a different chest piece, cloak, and a shoulder, you could buy those specific pieces with Stygia. With a variety of different enhancements to be able to give your alts and mains even more research inside of Korthia, you could outfit an alt character and then head straight into Korthia. In fact, currently in Korthia and the Maw, and this hasn't gotten nerfed at all, so we're expecting that maybe this will stay in the game, but there's a pretty big rift farm going on. If you could sneak your alt into a rift farm, you're able to farm a variety of powerful elites, get a lot of research, and then you can use that research to upgrade that same Korthian gear. That research can also go a long way into helping that alt character get reputation for the Archivist inside of Korthia, where you can also buy from the Archivist conduits as well as sockets to put onto your gear. So if Korthia farming sounds like something you want to do, and maybe the reputation is important to earn for your alt character, maybe you're looking to make like a second main or swapping characters altogether, this might be probably the best solution going forward, especially if you have some sort of a guildie or a friend pre-made group that can run you through a couple of these runs. Outside of that, if you're someone who does a lot of Mythic Pluses, there's a good chance you have a lot of Valor stored up. Going back to the Ouroboros vendor, you can actually spend that Valor to buy boxes that can include Mythic Dungeon Gear. It'll be Mythic 210 item level of random dungeon gear, trinkets, weapons, anything you can get. The gear is randomized, but if let's say you don't have anything to spend your Valor on, like on my Rogue, I still do my Mythic Pluses every single week, but I have nothing to spend Valor since all my gear is best in slot or fully upgraded, I can now invest that Valor into at least getting my alt character a Kickstarter set of gear. This is beneficial because the 210 item level for a fresh new character is a nice head start. But also if you can get specific items like the File Trinket from Plaguefall. It's an incredibly strong trinket for any agility user and even some strength users, and being able to get this trinket even at a low item level is a massive damage increase for a variety of different melee. If you're planning on doing Mythic Pluses on that character, there's a good chance as they do dungeons they'll collect Valor, and they'll be able to use that Valor to upgrade those dungeon pieces over time. Besides that, diving into dungeons as well as raids at whatever level is available, whether it's LFR, normal, heroic, or eventually working your way to mythic, or starting off dungeons at normal, heroic, maybe mythic 0, and then trying to get some mythic pluses like 2s, 3s, and 4s done on a weekly rotation, that will also help your characters out. Time walking is another fantastic way of getting some early gear. If time walking is available for the week, you don't really need any specific item levels to join, unlike a mythic plus dungeon would. So, if you're looking to get some kind of gearing, there's still the basic raiding, dungeons elements that are still available in the game. While there's nothing really new about dungeons or raiding with 915, it is still a feasible method if you're looking at PvE gameplay content for that character. If PvP is something you're more interested in, the same vendor in Ouroboros sells you a box with Conquest gear. You buy that Conquest gear on a main character if you do a lot of arenas but you've already geared to the teeth. You will be able to hopefully outfit your alts with some PvP gear. This PvP gear is beneficial because one, it comes with versatility, at least everything but like one cloak. Versatility is a powerful stat in PvP that makes your character tankier, It also just increases the output of damage, especially if you run the 2 PvP trinket set bonus, which enhances that versatility, damage value greatly. This gear is Conquest gear, so it starts out at item level 220, but upgrades higher inside of PvP at 233 baseline. And as your character is able to outfit themselves with a little bit of honor, a little bit of Conquest gear, eventually your versatility should be high enough where you can actually start doing some of those early end game PvP content on that character. They also adjusted honor gear and how that functions to be able to allow alt characters to have an easier time within PvP content. PvP is very much a gearing game. Having versatility and high enough item level helps tremendously. So they changed up the honor gear so that it starts out at a higher level when scaled up in PvP. The way PvP gear works right now is whenever you dive into PvP with PvP gear, it actually jumps up in level to make PvP gear the best thing inside of BGs and arenas instead of raiding and dungeon gear. Meaning for your alt characters, when you get them some very basic rank 1 PvP gear, it jumps up to an item level of 213, which is much better than 270. And as you upgrade this gear to the highest rank, it'll eventually be upgraded in PvP to item level of 233, which is comparable to the very basic gear that you get from Conquest gear. Conquest gear also got upgrades as well as the PvP system inside of arenas. It's a bit more granular and there's a lot more ranks in between as you climb rating within arenas. Previously the breakpoints for gear were 1400, 1600, 1800, 2100 and 2400, mostly for cosmetics. Now it's a bit more granular, starting at 1000 rating, 1200, 1400, 1600, 1800, 1950, 2100 and 2400. This is to make it easier for characters that are trying to climb rating. If let's say they reach a milestone of 1000, they'll be able to upgrade their gear to a certain extent. If they reach the next small milestone of 1200, they'll be able to get a slider upgrade, and then that boost will hopefully let them reach 1400. This helps out characters that are stuck at 1800 that are trying to climb towards 2100 but face players with way better gear. So now that climb is going to be from 1800 to 1950, and the difference of gear between 1800 and 1950 is a lot smaller, where hopefully skill will override the rest. Finally, and this one you might find surprising, but world gear has also improved. There's a good chance that as you leveled your alt characters that you utilized all the different renown catch-ups and now are sitting on quite a considerable amount of renown of whatever covenant you're currently playing in. As you upgrade renown for that covenant, the world gear actually goes up an item level. And last time I checked on my rogue, the highest item level it could provide you is, if you're super geared, 213 maximum. Which means, as a fresh alt character, if you got no other ways, if PvP is a little bit too daunting, if you feel like you're not good enough to get into some of the dungeons or struggling, the world is literally your oyster. Doing world quests that can give you gear upgrades can continuously gear you up until maybe maximum of 213-ish item level, which is actually better than the starting PvP or Mythic Plus box gear. Just need to make sure you're looking out on the map, looking for those conduits that you will definitely need for your character, but also the gear upgrades it could offer, because the potential there as your item level gradually goes up, the gear that the world offers you should hopefully go up as well. Anyway, that's gonna be my short video on how to gear alts in 9.15 and everything that's different and new. Basically all the other things that we talked about, like gearing from dungeons, raids, PvP, all that stuff that was available in 9.1 still applies. I just really want to highlight some of the 9.15 updates that are slightly different. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck gearing your alt characters. Hopefully a lot more people will be playing alts, and this patch does look pretty alt friendly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you guys got any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. That's probably the best and the easiest place to reach me. Link to that, to the channel Discord, in every single video description. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see all of you in the next one.